For an animal that is 95% water, has no brain, and eats and defecates out of the same opening, jellyfish have a surprisingly complex and effective weapon at their disposal. Most species have tentacles loaded with stinging cells called nematocysts. When these stinger cells are triggered, the internal pressure builds up to a massive 2000 psi, or 136 atmospheres, whereupon it bursts, firing out a toxin harpoon. This is one of the fastest movements in nature and quicker than a bullet. Although evolved to take out prey such as small fish, the jellyfish's venomous sting also has a defensive role. The toxicity to humans varies widely, with some stings being mildly irritating and the deadliest being potentially fatal within minutes. So after much research and without further ado, here are the most dangerous jellyfish known to man. Our journey into the world of venomous jellyfish begins in Australia, home to some of the planet's most fascinating and, let's be honest, terrifying creatures. And while Australia might boast cuddly koalas and kangaroos with abs you could grate cheese on, lurking beneath the waves is a creature far less forgiving: the box jellyfish. Now this isn't your average, "Ooh, I got stung, better put some vinegar on it" kind of jellyfish. No, the box jellyfish, particularly the variety known as the sea wasp or marine stinger, is in a league of its own. Imagine this: you're enjoying a refreshing dip in the ocean, and suddenly it feels like you've been branded with a red-hot iron. That's the box jellyfish's calling card. Why the dramatic reaction? Well, picture this: up to 15 tentacles, each stretching up to 3 meters long, adorned with millions upon millions of microscopic, venom-infused darts. It's like Mother Nature took the concept of a hand grenade and decided, let's make it invisible and give it to a jellyfish. And the venom? Let's just say it's not designed to win any popularity contests. It's a potent cocktail that attacks the heart, nervous system, and skin cells, and it works fast. We're talking potentially fatal within minutes. To put it into perspective, each box jellyfish carries enough venom to send roughly 60 adults to the pearly gates. So yeah, not exactly the kind of creature you want to bump into at a pool party. But here's the kicker: they're not even trying to sting you on purpose. See, those millions of stinging cells are triggered by contact with certain chemicals found on the skin of their prey, mainly small fish. Humans are, thankfully, not on their menu. But accidental stings? Well, they happen a lot. And that's why the box jellyfish, with its potent venom and oops, didn't see you their approach to stinging, earns its rightful place at the top of our list. From the go big or go home world of the box jellyfish, we move on to a creature that proves size isn't everything when it comes to packing a punch. Meet the Irukandji jellyfish, a tiny terror that could easily sneak in unnoticed with your morning toast. Measuring a mere 5 millimeters across, about the size of a grain of rice, this little stinger might seem harmless, but don't let its diminutive stature fool you. The Irukandji, like that quiet kid in school who aced all the tests, is a master of stealthy power. You see, this tiny jellyfish boasts a venom so potent, so exquisitely designed to inflict pain, that it makes the box jellyfish's venom look like a gentle nudge. We're talking over 100 times more powerful than a cobra's venom. Yes, you heard that right, and the real kicker, you might not even know you've been stung at first. The initial sting is often so mild it's easily mistaken for a mosquito bite or a brush against some seaweed. But then, the Irukandji's calling card kicks in. Irukandji syndrome. Imagine the worst muscle cramps you've ever experienced amplified 1,000-fold. Now add in excruciating back and kidney pain, a burning sensation that spreads across your skin like wildfire, relentless vomiting, and a pounding headache that feels like a jackhammer is let loose in your skull. Oh, and did we mention the rapid heart rate? It's like your body's own personal panic button has been jammed. The Irukandji's venom is a masterpiece of evolutionary engineering, specifically designed to send small fish into shock, making them easy pickings. Humans, thankfully, are not on their menu, but accidental stings, they happen. And when they do, it's not a pleasant experience. So while the Irukandji might not have the size of the box jellyfish, its venom is a force to be reckoned with, a microscopic marvel of pain-inducing chemistry that earns it a solid second place on our list. Chapter 3. Portuguese Man-o'-War, the Colony of Doom. Now let's set sail for the open ocean, where we encounter a creature that's not just a jellyfish, but a floating colony of organisms working together in perfect stinging harmony. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the Portuguese Man-o'-War, a creature that looks like something out of a Salvador Dali painting. Imagine this, a vibrant, translucent blue balloon bobbing gracefully on the surface of the water. Beautiful, right? But here's the catch, that balloon is just the tip of the iceberg, so to speak. Trailing beneath, sometimes for tens of meters, are long, trailing tentacles, armed with thousands upon thousands of those infamous stinging cells. Now, the Portuguese man-o-war might not be a true jellyfish, but when it comes to delivering a memorable sting, it can certainly hold its own. And trust me, memorable is an understatement. Imagine being lashed with a whip made of stinging nettles. That's the closest comparison I can come up with. The pain is immediate, intense, and often leaves a raised red welt across the skin that looks like a map of your suffering. And the fun doesn't stop there. The venom itself is a cocktail of toxins designed to paralyze and digest prey. In humans, it can trigger a range of delightful symptoms, including intense pain, fever, chills, muscle weakness, and in severe cases even shock and respiratory or heart problems. But here's the thing, the Portuguese man-o-war isn't actively trying to hunt you down. Those long, trailing tentacles are designed to ensnare small fish and other unfortunate creatures that stumble into their path. Humans, we're just collateral damage in their quest for a seafood snack. And that's why the Portuguese man-o-war, with its striking appearance, agonizing sting, and oops, wrong target approach to human interaction, earns a well-deserved third place on our list. Chapter 4, Lion's Mane, the giant that packs a punch. If you thought the Portuguese man-o-war was large, then brace yourselves because our next contender takes size to a whole new level. This is the lion's mane jellyfish, a creature so gargantuan it could rival a small car. Imagine a giant pulsating mushroom with a bell that can span over 2 meters in diameter, trailing hundreds of hair-like tentacles that can stretch for over 30 meters. That's longer than a blue whale, the largest animal on Earth. Now you might think that something this massive wouldn't need venom, that it could simply rely on its sheer size to intimidate its prey. Its tentacles are armed with millions of stinging cells, each one loaded with venom that packs a painful punch. And while the lion's mane's venom isn't as potent as the box jellyfish or the Irukandji, the sheer volume of venom it can deliver more than makes up for it. That's what it's like to be on the receiving end of a lion's mane's embrace. In most cases, the sting, while excruciating, isn't usually fatal, but in some instances the venom can cause severe allergic reactions, leading to breathing difficulties, muscle cramps, and even heart problems. One particularly memorable incident occurred in New Hampshire, USA. A single lion's mane washed ashore and broke up into countless fragments, each one still armed and dangerous. The result? Over 150 people stung, some requiring hospitalization. Chapter 5. Sea Nettle, the Itchy Cousin. After the monstrous lion's mane, let's take a moment to unwind with a jellyfish that's, dare I say, a tad less intimidating. Meet the sea nettle, a common sight along the coastlines of North America, particularly in the Chesapeake Bay area. Now don't get me wrong, the sea nettle isn't about to win any popularity contests. It can still deliver a sting that'll make you regret ever dipping a toe in the ocean. But compared to its deadly cousins, the sea nettle is more like that annoying relative who pinches your cheeks at family gatherings. Irritating, but not life-threatening. Imagine a translucent saucer-shaped bell, trailing dozens of long, thin tentacles that can reach up to 6 feet in length. These tentacles are covered in, you guessed it, stinging cells just waiting to ruin your day. The good news is that the sea nettle's venom is significantly milder than its more venomous counterparts. Think of it as the difference between a bee sting and a mosquito bite. Both are annoying, but one sends you running for the calamine lotion, while the other has you contemplating the meaning of life. A sea nettle sting will leave you with a nasty, itchy rash that can last for a few hours to a few days, depending on your sensitivity. You might also experience some localized pain, burning, and even some welts that look like you've been whipped with seaweed. But here's the silver lining: sea nettle stings are rarely life-threatening. Unless you have a severe allergy, in which case you know the drill. Seek medical attention immediately. So, while the sea nettle might not be the most dangerous jellyfish on our list, it's still a creature best admired from a distance. Think of it as the gateway jellyfish, the one that teaches you to respect the power of these gelatinous creatures without sending you into a full-blown panic attack. Outro: respect the sting, but don't fear the jelly. While it is true that by their very nature jellyfish sting, not all are even remotely dangerous. In fact, on the deadly scale, some stings come in at somewhere between barely discernible and mildly irritating. So, the next time you encounter a jellyfish, remember not all of them are out to get you. And one last thing, you may have heard that the best way to treat a jellyfish sting is to pee on it. Well, don't. When you get stung, there will often be traces of tentacles bursting with stinger cells left behind on the skin. All these nematocyst cells are primed with venom and ready to go, causing even more pain. If you are going to pour anything on, make it vinegar, as this will not only rinse some of the tentacles away, but will deactivate the stinging cells.